Traders, good morning and welcome to this live trading webinar. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. How is trading going? If you kindly put some comments on the chat boxes below. So for those who are first time with us, I would like to welcome you guys on board. And let's get started. Just to make sure that everyone acknowledge that this webinar is for general information only and is not intended to provide trading or investment advice or any personal recommendations. Yesterday we had a bit of surprise with Bank of England and the European Central Bank interest rates, as we can see here. Let's start from Wednesday, because now we can have a pretty fair conclusion. So on Wednesday, the Fed increased the interest rates by 25 basis points only. However, the US dollar from the chart, it dropped so much. Yesterday on Thursday, Bank of England interest rates increased by 50 basis points, and the European Central Bank, they raised by 50 basis points. However, we saw that the US dollar at the end outperformed both pound and the euro. Remember, I told you yesterday, be patient with your trading. These two events here, the market, it's not decide yet what it's going to do just based on the Fed's decision. We have another two major events that they will determine the market's outlook, at least for the next days or the upcoming week. So far, we see some more optimization on the US dollar instead of the euro and the pound. Today, though, we have the non-farm payroll. Here, the forecast shows that the unemployment rate can increase in the US. If this will happen, and if the market will follow through this, we will definitely see some change in the battle. But better, we will see that when we go to the charts. Let's go very quickly to the morning briefing, today's top headlines, just to read what Dow Jones provided us for today. So global minimum tax deal advances with partial reprieve for US-based companies. New York Fed name economies to top markets post. Russia claims gains in battle for Bakhmut. Vladimir Putin rallies Russian support at Stalingrad anniversary, warns of reprisals. Big tech didn't quite clear the bar. Meta platform shares surged 23% on cost cuts. Google parent Alphabet post drop in ad revenue and slowdown. Apple sales shrink as pandemic rally ends for iPhone maker, other tech giants. Guys, if you are investing, these are really interesting information, because as we're going to go furthermore this year, I will introduce every week one investment course purely to teach you how can you invest. It's not gonna be related too much to technical analysis, but it's going to be related to investing and how can we read the information and apply them on our best interest. And if any one of you is having some thoughts of start investing, or are you already investing, I will definitely encourage you to read a little bit this here and just get an understanding. Maybe you see that now Amazon is losing some value, or Apple stock is dropped down. That didn't, of course, yesterday it rallied a lot, but understand few important information can help you make very, very smart decisions. Cherry, yes, I would like to invest in shares, definitely. If you need anything about that, please don't hesitate to send me an email or something to guide you how to start it, or post it on the Telegram under this live, and I will go in a more discussion with you. Amazon warns of period of slower growth. FTC denied Meta's bid to disqualify Chair Lina Khan from antitrust lawsuit. Twitter to remove free APL access in Elon Musk's latest revenue push. And that's what we have so far. Let's go to the currencies. Pound against the US dollar. Yesterday, some concern raised. Are we buying the bullish engulfing? My answer was clear, no, because we don't buy the resistance. We don't get into this enthusiasm mode and buy the resistance. It's most preferably to sell the resistance, not to buy it. And I'll explain you how to understand market weaknesses after important positive news. If the market just drops instead of rally, it means that the currency is super weak. All right, that's the way to understand some insight about what can happen in the next few days. And for those who gonna look for shorts, if you go on the 15 minutes, on the 5-minute chart, see this is a nice drop before the London Open. Definitely, we do expect some push to the upside. Sometimes these things, guys, they lead to a kind of false breakout. Now, without saying that we have a crystal ball and we know 100% that this is going to keep dropping down and it's going to go to the bottom, we don't know that. What we know, it's the information we have in front of us so far. We have this information of a very strong push to the downside. Usually the markets at some point, they want to cover some of the battle here, some of the distance. So that's why we see the retracements. And there are few areas of retracement. It's these lows here. It's maybe this area here. On the 5-minute chart, we have this strong support that had been broken, and maybe some reversals up to here. Price action, nice price action can get us to the downside. We're going to definitely keep an eye on the pound today. The euro, what I don't like in this picture comparing to the pound is that the euro against the dollar put a higher high and it's in an uptrend. So I wouldn't like to sell the euro without seeing lower lows like we saw on the pound. All right, so for me, this euro, it's stronger. Yes, Florin, just close a sell on pound US dollar, a way to retrace. Perfect, nice call. Good morning all, good morning. USD against the Swiss franc, we mentioned this. If someone wanted to sell this one on the intraday basis, we said that this is the room of opportunity until this area of support. So it wasn't possible to do it on the daily chart unless we take less than 1-to-1 profit. But on the lower time frame, I believe on the 5 minutes, 15-minute chart, there were some opportunities to do it so. And now we are on support. Of course, if you plot RSI, if you plot stochastic, we will see bullish or positive divergence. What this leaves us with. It's the information that from support, maybe we can see push to the upside. However, if the market appreciates, especially after the non-farm payroll, if the market appreciates the US dollar, the only thing we will see is a strong rally of the dollar. Now, we can't say for sure this is going to happen, that is going to happen, because, as I said, we don't have a crystal ball. But what we can definitely say is that if we're going to break above this trend line resistance, then we can see some continuation, some new trend development to the upside. So if we make this higher high, if we make a new high, higher high, and a retracement, we can definitely see some bullishness to come in this area. All right. Australian dollar against the US dollar. This dark cloud cover pattern appears here. Sorry, guys, it's something wrong with my mouse. It's like, okay. So this dark cloud cover, it's a price action pattern, candlestick price action pattern that after a bullish candle, we have a bearish candle that goes well deep into the body of the bullish candle and almost 70% of the previous body. And that's what we see here. We see it happening right on resistance. But again, there is more clarity on the pound. Yes, we are on resistance here. However, it's like an ascending triangle is developing, and I don't like to see that. Until this area here, we said, okay, some small risk, we can take some trades to the downside. They played out, that's okay. But from now on, we have to be a bit careful. Remember, pound has more weakness, at least on the intraday from what we see now. Pretty much similar with the Kiwi. Relatively weak currently. Now, if we see some sort of weakness on the intraday charts, maybe we can, a strong price action, we can take advantage for some temporarily sales. USD against the Canadian dollar. Now it's very choppy. I wouldn't like to look for shorts, to be honest. But only after the non-farm payroll, if I'm around to trade, then I will see something with the cat. Looks like some sellers, they created some new lower lows on the intraday. Now on the 5-minute chart, if we want to sell, we have to be patient for the 5-minute, either to break below here or to create a lower low, and then on a retracement to take the move to the downside. For now, definitely we do nothing because we have these higher high cycles. Aussie yen is dropping down. This is the area we do expect the price to come and test it before it continues to the upside. Euro yen, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's within this range, in the middle of range. It's not at the top or at the bottom. Pound yen will be another great pair, guys, to keep an eye on the intraday level, especially because now we have some clarity. There are many sellers join the market, and maybe it's going to give us, here it is, a nice retracement comes. We want to see some rejection around this area. So let's keep an eye on this. We want to see some rejection around either this trend line resistance, either this horizontal resistance. In regards to block trading, we almost cover the unfilled zones. So I will definitely be interested to see some sort of reversal candlestick pattern and get to the downside. Keep an eye on that. Canadian dollar will be good to short it against the Japanese yen also this morning. However, we are on this intraday support. When you see the daily charts lows, that means a strong intraday support on the 5-minute chart. Do you guys see this? See this one here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the price bounced through this support on a different times, and that show us how strong is this support for intraday trading. All right, so we maybe not want to get involved with that. Gold, nice bearish engulfing yesterday, only for scalping. That's against the prevailing trend, so only and only for scalping some short plays. We don't wait for this one here. Even 2-1, it's more than enough, because we are against the prevailing trend and we don't know for how long the momentum it's going to be in our advantage. Theo, would you trade the daily gold against the predominant trend? That's the one we just mentioned. I will trade it, yes, only on the intraday level, only on the intraday level. And of course, with short targets. I would never go to 3-1, 4-1, 5-1. No, I will just get in. If I make some profit, take them out, and that's it. All right, purely scalping, purely intraday. Not something aggressive, not something that it can harm my trading just because of the emotions. Crude oil, it's still pushing to the downside, as you guys see. There is still room to move. I didn't get involved with that. It's like something doesn't make sense to me with this market here in terms of market structure. We have some chopness. So it's something like this. But I don't know. It's not a clear identifiable pattern that we traded with consistency. So I prefer to just focus on other market. And gas still on the free fall. Silver, remember, there were traders. They maybe took this trade here. A few people, they asked me on the live about this candle, I believe. And I mentioned that if you're going to take this trade, be very careful. This is a resistance area. We are not the traders who make the resistance areas and the support. We are not the one with powerful orders with huge volumes to determine the price move, where the price will stop. So just be mindful about that. I wouldn't trade on the intraday the silver, simply because the spread it's big, and I would prefer to stick with the gold for intraday trading. Bitcoin, it's also approaching this area of resistance. So markets, we have this strong battle here, as you can see. Every impulse to the upside, we always have almost the same in volume candle to the downside. Same here. Now we reject it here. We will see how this will develop, but I believe at some point, sooner or later, it's going to drop somewhere in this area before it's going to take over. Euro against the Australian dollar, we are fighting around this area. And if it were some selling orders sitting here waiting to push the price to the downside, we should have seen them. We don't see anything. Euro against the pound, finally we create a new high here. It's It's great for trend followers on the daily chart. On the 4-hour chart, we can find some nice swings and trade them. Euro against the Canadian dollar, resistance, market reaches this resistance, reject it at this point here. We don't know if this is going to develop now as an ascending triangle or if it's going to break to the downside. Really, nobody knows. From block trading, I don't see any strong unfilled orders. It's only this one here. It's only that one there. But actually, this move here, it got filled by this area and the tail. So we don't have clarity there. Euro against the Swiss franc, pretty much sideways. New Zealand, again, the same, sideways. Pound against the Australian dollar. I don't know. We didn't discuss about this one 3 days ago. And we have this rejection here. We said that the market broke below this area. So any strong price action can help us to get to the downside. To be honest, I didn't watch this market, so I didn't participate in this move, although it's a move that applies all of our criteria in the strategy. We have a lower high, so we have lower high and lower low. At this point, we have a trend. We have a clear break and retest, price action, rejection. No need to say more. Market, it's just continue to the downside. At some point, definitely it has to retrace back, but I believe at least this, the market, it's going to come and retest this area at least at some point. So you can mark this on your charts. With the Swiss franc, the pound, it's very sideways. Pound against the Canadian dollar, you can see, guys, pound is weak everywhere. Even pound cat looks like a good pair to trade today on the intraday. I like this. So we do have a nice clear break to the downside. So we will see if the price is going to climb. I would like to get involved at this area here, not from this point where the current price is, but a little bit higher. We will see if the market will come higher. We can take advantage of that. Finally, also on the daily chart with the New Zealand, we broke to the downside. Now, is this market pushing lower due to New Zealand's strength? Is it because the Kiwi is strong and the pound is weak? That's why it's dropped? No, the reason is because pound is super weak and any other currency pair, it needs so little volume to dominate this this pound. So maybe we can stick to the pound yen, to the pound Aussie, to the pound against the US dollar to look for weakness instead of the pound Kiwi. Johan, I plan to make some webinars to explain block trading because it's something that in Forex market works fairly well. All right, but due to the time here, unfortunately, it's not something I can do. Apologies for that. Let's check the indices. Guys, remember, now we have 5 more minutes before we finish this webinar. Just please remember, today is a non-farm payroll. We don't want to participate in some crazy nonsense moves. All right, markets usually they drift sideways for some time, some hours before the event. So just be mindful about that. Manage your risk. We're going to get into the trades if we have our signals, but not to be greedy, at least today. All right. So false breakout here on the dollar index with this piercing pattern. We expect the market to push to the upside. We will see. Guys, today we're going to have the non-farm payroll. We will see how the market will react, and we're going to get a good understanding of what to trade next week. All right. The DAX put a new high yesterday. We said on the 5-minute chart to keep an eye on that for a break to the upside, preferably. I think we were right here, and I draw you the box of the 1 hour before. And the way I trade, as I mentioned, I wait for a breakout either to the upside or to the downside. But yesterday we said preferably to the upside. I put, and it broke out here. I put 6 pips profit, 3 pips stop loss, and that's it. Pure scalping, very, very fast, very intense trading. It's not for New York Open. It's not during the London session. It's purely on the opening of the London session. All right. It's not something I trade actively intraday. I just do this scalping, and that's it, and I'm done. If I get a win, I get a win. If I get a loss, I get a loss, and that's it. All right. I don't try to squeeze it. If some traders, they took this to the upside and they were trailing stop loss, maybe they got into this move, so they should got out somewhere here. But these moves, they happen not once in a blue moon, but close to that. Okay. Most of the times we have some false breakout, but those 3-6 pips, they are fairly easily to gain. FTSE, it's still with this uncertainty here. We didn't have a higher high. Dow Jones, yesterday we spoke about this length doji candle, long length doji candle. Yesterday we had this inside candle. We said that the Nasdaq, after this break, we're going to look to buy the Nasdaq on any intraday area. The level of resistance, it's this one here, and we don't hold trades on resistance. I hope you guys understand this. S&P 500, we were at resistance. We said we're not going to do anything because we don't know if the price is going to break above. It broke above here. But again, not very clear. Dow Jones also not very clear. The only one that was clear, it was the S&P 500, and that was the room of opportunity for traders. They participated into that. I'm sure you experience good result. Is it wise to trade without stop loss? If you trade without leverage, and let's say you buy a stock that it's $10, and you just hold the stock for ages, you don't pay commissions, you don't pay swaps, you don't pay overnight fees, then it's fine not to use stop loss. But when you trade the Forex market, the indices, using leverage, all right, like your account, it's 1 to 30 leverage, or 1 to 100, or whatever, 1 to 200, and you don't use stop loss, you maybe face the consequence that if the price moves against you, it just takes money out of your account, and that's not fair. So for me, purely as an individual, I don't trade without stop loss. Always stop loss has to be there. Okay. Because if a loss occur, I prefer to have a small loss occur and not to harm my account just in one trade to blow up everything. All right, you are very welcome. Is the non-farm payroll is coming smaller Danish dollar is getting weaker. Look, it's a bit, it's if the non-farm payroll is coming smaller, you mean the actual number, then the dollar getting weaker. It can be, but really this week, because we had 3 major banks reporting interest rates, and all of them, they were bullish and hike their rates, it's a bit tricky to create the outcome of the non-farm payrolls prior and what it's going to happen, simply because yesterday, when the pound and the euro, their countries increased the interest rates, the currencies, instead of gaining momentum, they lost momentum. So that shows so much weakness in the market. So we have to wait. Yes, for now we are using MT4, MT5. We have to wait, guys, until the actual event, and we have to see in the next few hours how the price will move. All right, guys, unfortunately I have to wrap up for today. It was a privilege and honor to host this webinar for you. Please manage your risk accordingly. Understand that non-farm payrolls with interest rate, it's something a bit complicated. Trade only what you see on your lower time frames. If you're going to do intraday, make sure that you are going with a strong daily price action, and high probability trade as per our strategies. And anything you want to ask, anything you want to comment, please feel free to use the Telegram. I suppose that everyone has the Telegram. Let me share it very fast with you. The Telegram channel is here. You are allowed to comment. You are free to comment under this live trading post. So please do so. And I look forward to see you again on Monday at the same time. Happy weekend and happy trading.